Guys, Arsenal has done the impossible. A lot of people thought that because they had injury issues up front, the likes of Bukayo Saka, Kai Havertz, Martinelli, Gabriel Jesus, all injured, Arsenal were going to suffer in their next game against Leicester City. That's not the case. Arsenal won that game by 2 goals to 0. You are going to take a look at their performances. We're also going to take a look at the master plan for mikel arteta and also talk about the interesting one. Thomas Partey playing against Jordan Ayew in that particular game. But before we jump into it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and also turn on notification. Quickly, let's jump into it and talk about that game. Now, coming into this game, most of us, I say most of us because I'm also inclusive. I felt like Arsenal were going to struggle in this game. And I do not lie, they struggled in the first half. But Mikel Arteta did something different. He changed that game. Mikel Arteta bringing in that substitution in that 75th minute changed the entire complexion of the game. And he gave them 2 goals, 2 needed goals for all the full 3 points they needed in the EPL. Arsenal out of the Carabao Cup, Arsenal out of the FA Cup. Their concentration is on the EPL and the UCL, and they want to close the gap between them and Liverpool. And today's game is just a major boost for them, regardless of their injury situation. Now, today, when you take a look at their upfront players, you have Ethan Nwaneri, you have Trossard, and also have Raheem Sterling. I'm not going to lie, Raheem Sterling really struggled in that game. He's a player who have not played a lot of games for Arsenal ever since he decided to move from Chelsea to Arsenal on loan. He did not play a lot of games. And today, he was thrown into the Lions Den and did not really perform. He underperformed. And regardless of that fact, let's all give credit to Wilfred Ndidi. He played a major role to silence Raheem Sterling. In fact, anytime Raheem Sterling had the ball, Ndidi was right there with him. All the completed tackles he did in that game really helped Leicester City, especially in the first half. And in my own opinion, Raheem Sterling did not play football the way we all wanted him, especially Arsenal fans, because Ndidi was the one being man-marking him all time through the game. And honestly, Ndidi played so well as a midfielder for Leicester City today. But then speaking about Arsenal, the other 2 players that played up front were superb. I mean, Ethan Nwaneri in the first half, he was Arsenal's best player, creating a lot of chances, hitting, the target. I mean, he was playing so well, and I was wondering how young this guy is. Very young player, playing extremely well. Arsenal really have talent in their squad. It's just that most of the key players that would have played this game are all injured. If they were all around, Arsenal should be winning this game by like 5 or 6 goals. But because they were not around, it was quite difficult for Arsenal to break through. But then Mikel Arteta did the most sensible thing. The most sensible thing is to bring a player who could change that game. And I was happy with the changes he made in the second half. Bringing in Jorginho, bringing in Merino. And Merino was the one who scored Arsenal's 2 goals, which was quite important in that game because they took out all full 3 points. Now, let's talk about the interesting matchup that happened in that game. Jordan Ayew for Leicester City, Thomas Partey for Arsenal. Throughout that game, every single time you see Jordan Ayew and Thomas Partey in a tackle or in a scuffle for the ball. And it got to a time Thomas Partey did a mistake and passed the ball to Jordan Ayew. That ball could have easily be a goal for Leicester City, but then Lewis Kelly really helped Arsenal, and that did not happen. But in my own opinion, Jordan Ayew played very well with Leicester City. He was very good on the pitch. His experience showed today, very good. And also Thomas Partey, aside the little mistakes he did in that game, he played very well, in my own opinion. And I feel like with the national team, the Black Stars, we still need him. We still need Thomas Partey. Put all jokes aside. You can say anything you want to say, but Thomas Partey, he's that guy. We still need him. And today, he proved to us why we need him in our midfield in the national team. So they played very well for us now. Only for some few mistakes he did in that game, he was very excellent in my opinion. There were times that he had a scuffle with Jordan Ayew. At a point, I was scared they might even get injured. But guys, let's take a look at Jordan Ayew's performance in numbers very quickly. You can see that on your screen. I'm going to pull my out very quickly. He was rated 6.6 by SofaScore. He played 75 minutes, had a total touch of 40. Accurate passes completed was 17 out of 22, accumulating to 77%. If you take a look at his dribble attempted successful, it's 1 out of 1, ground was 1, 5 out of 11, area balls 1 out of 3, and he was rated 6.6. Now, the reason why the rating went up was because of what he did off the ball. Now, his defensive work, he had 4 clearances completed and 2 tackles completed, which is quite important in that game. But then after he left the pitch, Leicester City started conceding goals. I felt like Jordan Ayew should have stayed throughout the 90 minutes because he was bringing something else on board defensively for Leicester City. But then Ruud van Nistelrooy thought it wise to take him out and bring in Mavididi. But then I felt like that was a wrong substitution on the part of Leicester City. Now, talking about Arsenal, Thomas Partey himself did not do bad. He was rated 7.2 by SofaScore. And I want to take you through his performance in number statistics very quickly. He played 76 minutes. He had a total touch of 68. Accurate passes completed was 49 out of 56, accumulating to 88%. Long ball successful 1 out of 4. If you take a look at his ground balls, he made 5 successful ground balls out of 7. And also take a look at his defensive work in that game. 1 clearance, 1 interception, and also 3 tackles completed, rated 7.2 by SofaScore. He went out and Jorginho replaced him. And afterwards, the goals started flowing. I think Mikel Arteta did so well with that particular change. I felt like Thomas Partey, who was being ganged like up upon by Leicester City players in the second half. So that change was very important in my own opinion. But then very soon these 2 players will be coming into the national team. Jordan Ayew and also Thomas Partey. They will be playing for the same side, the Ghana national team. Today they played against each other, but then the next time we see them, they will be playing on the same side. And today it proves to us that our players are not that bad. They are good. They can play at the topmost level. It's just that sometimes when it comes to the national team, there is one problem or the other. But then today we saw quality. Today we saw them play at the higher stage. And I want to tell these 2 players that when they come for their national team, they should play exactly the same way. We want to go to the World Cup. There's Chad, there's Madagascar to play against. So these 2 players playing very well for their club side. Otuado has visited them during his, player visit tour. He has spoken to these players. We hope that they come into the national team and perform exactly the way they perform for their club side. I loved what I saw from these 2 players. Jordan Ayew with Leicester City, Thomas Partey with Arsenal. They played extremely well. And guys, let me know your thoughts about it down below in the comments. Due to copyright reasons, I can't bring you visuals from that game, but then you can send the paid comments. I'm going to post highlights to that game there. So guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, and also turn on notification. My name is Adam. You're watching SportsCornerGH. I'll make sure to see you in the next one. Charlie, we will vibe.